Your fuel.
Let's go.
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt set to hold her latest press briefing at any minute now. You're looking live at the podium where she is set to speak here. The press corps, as you can see, already in place and anticipating the press secretary's arrival. The 2-week ceasefire between the United States and Iran will likely dominate today's briefing. Before heading into the briefing room moments ago, our Brian Glenn filing this report.
Thanks, Terrence. Here shortly, just moments away, Caroline Leavitt expected to address the media at 1 p.m. here, local time. Now, this will be the first time we've officially heard from the Trump administration. Now, earlier today, we did have the press briefing at the Pentagon, but this will be the first time that Caroline Leavitt will step front on the podium taking questions. And then this is in wake of that 2-week pause, that 2-week ceasefire that President Trump late yesterday announced that he was going to do. And of course, I would imagine a lot of the questions will be, what does this ceasefire entail? What does this potential deal look like? What does life look like after the ceasefire? And a lot of conversations came up as far as what our presence is in that region to secure not only the strait, but to make sure that diplomacy and civility returns to Iran. Also, the fact that Israel continues to, just late last night, really hammer Lebanon. And so be some questions. I've heard some speculation today about what does that look like in terms of a ceasefire, and that's a part of it, and that will continue to be something that Israel will obey. But we've got all the details right here coming up at 1 o'clock here local time, and we'll cut to it as soon as Caroline Leavitt steps in front of the microphone. Terrence?
Again, that's Brian Glenn reporting just outside of the White House. He is now inside the White House in that press briefing room as the briefing is expected to get underway quite literally at any minute. By the way, there's also brand new reporting just out that Iran has now closed the Strait of Hormuz as a result of continued Israeli attacks on the Islamic regime. So that's also a storyline that we're expecting to be focused on during this upcoming press briefing involving Caroline Leavitt. In the meantime, earlier this morning, the Pentagon sounding off about the ceasefire agreement and what's next.
Iran's defeat is America's retribution for every American lost to Iranian terror, especially those brave troops killed by Iranian-made roadside bombs in Iraq that my generation knows so well, and for the suffering their regime has inflicted around the world. Now we have a chance at real peace and a real deal. The War Department, for now, has done its part. We stand ready in the background to ensure Iran upholds every reasonable term. And as everyone knows, nobody makes a better deal than President Trump.
And a barrage of Truth Social posts this morning, President Trump writing, a country slipping military weapons to Iran will be immediately tariffed on any and all goods sold to the United States of America, 50% effective immediately. And in a separate post, 47 writing, the United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what will likely be a very productive regime change. U.S. negotiators, by the way, set to meet with officials from Iran on Friday in Pakistan in order to continue talks. President Trump celebrating another election victory this morning after Clayton Fuller wrote his Trump endorsement to victory in Georgia's 14th Congressional District special election. As expected, Fuller won in a landslide, beating Democrat Sean Harris with more than 57% of the vote. Fuller will fill Marjorie Taylor Greene's remaining term in the U.S. House. The traditionally Republican Northwest Georgia District returns another much-needed vote to the GOP's narrow majority in the House. Despite the win in Georgia, though, House Republicans can only afford 2 defections on party line votes, assuming that all members are present and voting. Fuller can't be too comfortable in that seat, though, as Georgia will hold another primary for the seat on May 19th. Candidates looking to fill the full 2-year term, will be part of that primary. Well, that's going to do it for your headlines. As always, we appreciate having you along for the ride. Again, at the top of the hour, or the moment at this point that Caroline Leavitt takes the podium in the White House, we'll take you there live. Stay tuned for that.
The world doesn't slow down because you're tired. And weakness gets exposed. That's why the best take Go Pills. Born for military performance, built for high-pressure days when your brain has to move faster than the chaos. This is neurotransmitter support, helping your mind fire clean signals so you can process data fast, decide fast, and stay locked in when it matters. Packed with clinically supported ingredients designed to boost cognitive performance so you stay sharp under pressure. The most badass military in the world uses this kind of energy every day. Now you can too. From training to eliminate America's enemies to smoke-checking terrorists, Go Pills keep the mission fueled. Real world tested by high-level tactical communities. Now available to you. Greenlight the beast inside. Pop a Go Pill. Scan the QR code or go to buygopills.com and receive 15% off your entire order. To the factories, from small towns to city streets. This is the fight for the soul of our nation.
We're watching Democrats attack democracy. Do not be fooled.
The strength, the grit, the greatness of the American spirit, all right here.
The left wanted power, not peace, but there's a resistance rising. A generation saying enough, enough. We've tried it their way, and it failed.
The Steve Gruber Show with your host, Steve Gruber, starts right now.
All right, welcome to it as we get to enter another big day here. Kicking it off, fighting for you for the Foxhole Freedom, defending America, putting America first. Every single day. Three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, listen to this. Right now, India is increasing its demand for coal-powered energy by 12%. That's right. While we chop everything, they burn more. That the same thing's happening in China while we get burned. Number two, remember the radical left wing would-be bombers outside of Gracie Mansion, those would-be bombers? Remember them? They were trying to kill at least 60 people, they've admitted. Ah, yes. And number three, while Democrats continue to screech about the 25th Amendment and their latest fantasies about impeaching President Trump, Trump was spinning the plates on a ceasefire deal. It's still working to find a long-term solution to bring peace to the Middle East, not just an end to the bloody Iranian theocracy. He wants to bring peace to the Middle East long-term, and Democrats, they're never happy. In fact, they're legitimately insane. This panel at CNN illustrates that point quite clearly. Listen.
Going to be reopened, and we're going to negotiate about the rest. Beyond that, we don't really know much of anything. But I will tell you, yesterday, Iran was saying, we're cutting off, talks. We're not going to continue the talks. The president uses some extreme language, and all of a sudden, voila, tonight, we have a ceasefire for 2 weeks. Why can't we just say, you know what? Maybe we have achieved military objectives. Maybe we have taken down their military and their ability to export terror. Maybe we have decimated their missiles. Maybe we've buried the nuclear material. And maybe we've got 2 weeks to make the world a safer place. Why can't we look at this as a glass half full moment as opposed to,
but then why
we have to make it negative for Donald.
Yeah, they went on to attack Scott Jennings, of course. We hit Iran hard, we hit them smart, and now we've got a ceasefire on the table. But I'm not some sunshine pumping talking head. I'm going to be honest with you about this thing. The ceasefire is fragile. It's a house of cards in a wind tunnel. It's already been violated, apparently, but it seems to be hanging out, at least for now. But it's the Middle East. Ceasefires are not an easy thing, but one wrong move from the mullahs or the remnants of their proxy puppets will be right back in the thick of it. That's the reality. And we're already seeing some disagreements. Trump says that the skirmish in Lebanon has nothing to do with the ceasefire, but Iran has created a few more problems for ships trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, with harassing maneuvers and veiled threats that have oil markets jittery. It's classic Iranian gamesmanship. Test the edges, probe the weaknesses. Hope the West blinks first. Oil right now at this hour, $97 a barrel. Iran's nuclear ambitions have crossed every red line imaginable. That much is certain. They've been enriching uranium to weapons-grade levels, thumbing their nose at the world and funding every terrorist outfit from Hamas to the Houthis, to Hezbollah, to al-Shabaab in Africa. Which is why Trump authorized targeted strikes that were surgical, overwhelming, and unmistakably American. And guess what? The results speak for themselves. Here's Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, General Dan Kane, in his briefing. Listen.
On February 28th, the President of the United States ordered the Joint Force to execute Operation Epic Fury with the direction to accomplish 3 distinct military objectives: destroy Iran's ballistic missile and drone capabilities, destroy the Iranian Navy, and destroy their defense industrial base to ensure that Iran cannot reconstitute the ability to project power outside their borders. Over the course of 38 days of major combat operation, the Joint Force achieved the military objectives as defined by the President. We welcome the ongoing ceasefire, and as the Secretary said, we hope that Iran chooses a lasting peace. But as Secretary Hegseth said, let us be clear, a ceasefire is a pause, and the Joint Force remains ready, if ordered or called upon, to resume combat operations with the same speed and precision as we've demonstrated over the last 38 days, and we hope that that is not the case.
No endless nation building. No indefinite boots on the ground quagmire, just decisive action that left their programs, all of them, in smoking ruins. This is an America First foreign policy at its finest. It's hit hard, it hits fast, it gets out. Let them feel the consequences, and like General Kane just said, hopefully it ends there. Now, fast forward to the ceasefire. Iran folded faster than a cheap suit in a rainstorm. They reached out through back channels, desperate, humiliated, and staring down the barrel of a more direct strike on them that would have turned their remaining facilities into parking lots. DoD Director Pete Hegseth says that Iran begged for it. Here's what he said at the briefing.
President Trump forged this moment. Iran begged for this ceasefire, and we all know it. As the President truth this morning, a big day for world peace. Iran wants it to happen. They've had enough. Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory on the battlefield. A capital V military victory. By any measure, Epic Fury decimated Iran's military and rendered it combat ineffective for years to come.
Yeah, whether you like the over-the-top Truth Social posts or not, and yes, let's be honest, some of the president's posts are over the top. It doesn't matter. Right now, it's part of the playbook. It always has been. Trump's been that way since he first revealed his strategies back in The Art of the Deal book. Hegseth says Iran begged, not negotiated from strength, not some grand diplomatic dance. They pleaded because they knew the alternative was lights out. Vice President J.D. Vance also warning Iran during his trip to Hungary not to mess with the president any further. Here's his comment.
The president has told us not to use those tools. He's told us to come to the negotiating table. But if the Iranians don't do the exact same thing, they're going to find out that the president of the United States is not one to mess around. He's impatient. He's impatient to make progress. He has told us to negotiate in good faith. And I think if they negotiate in good faith, we will be able to find a deal. But that's a big if. And ultimately, it's up to the Iranians how they negotiate. I hope they make the right decision.
I hope they make the right decision as well. This isn't the Obama-era nuclear fantasy game where we handed them pallets of cash and a wink. This is Trump 2.0. Maximum pressure, zero tolerance. The reason that Trump's outrageous threats work is because he's shown that he's willing to follow through. In Venezuela, we took out Maduro without the loss of a single U.S. soldier. Last year, we executed Operation Midnight Hammer, and we're out of Iranian airspace before they even knew what had happened or what had hit them. And so far in Operation Epic Fury, Trump has shown himself willing to finish what he starts, but also willing to negotiate. All right, willing to negotiate. We'll have more from Pete Hegseth coming up in a moment, because I want you to hear, all right? I want you to hear all of this. Position of strength is important. A position of strength and not saying, okay, we're going to play games. No, we're going to negotiate because that's what we will do every time. Give you an off-ramp. Trump always gives them an off-ramp, a place to say, okay, look, let's talk about this. And if you don't, it's on you. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Steve Gruber Show on a Thursday. Nice to see you this morning. Quick break.
doesn't slow down because you're tired. And weakness gets exposed. That's why the best take Go pills. Born for military performance, built for high-pressure days when your brain has to move faster than the chaos. This is neurotransmitter support, helping your mind fire clean signals so you can process data fast, decide fast, and stay locked in when it matters. Packed with clinically supported ingredients designed to boost cognitive performance so you stay sharp under pressure. The most badass military in the world uses this kind of energy every day. Now you can too. From training to eliminate America's enemies to smoke-checking terrorists, Go pills keep the mission fueled. Real world tested by high-level tactical communities. Now available to you. Greenlight the beast inside. Pop a Go pill. Scan the QR code or go to buygopills.com and receive 15% off your entire order.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
now that's a game changer.
Here we go, all of us.
Wow, that's good.
I'm fueled up now.
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the Rav Hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
When the bacon wants real facts and figures, he goes to Rav. Real America's Voice, baby. That's where you get the real scoop and not the poop.
Hi, this is Becky from the Florida Panhandle, and I love watching Real America's Voice for the programming, the hosts, and my Rad Chat family.
Hey y'all, it's Nancy from Texas. Real America's Voice gives us truth, not propaganda, and we need that. Thank you so much.
Welcome back now as we continue on. Pete Hegseth at the podium. Again, they do these briefings from time to time. He was there with Dan Kane, General Kane, and Secretary Hegseth were out there. And here's what Hegseth explained about negotiating or annihilating. There is a choice. Here he is.
President Trump had the power to cripple Iran's entire economy in minutes. But he chose mercy. He spared those targets because Iran accepted the ceasefire under overwhelming pressure. The new Iranian regime understood that a deal was far better than the fate that awaited them. This new regime just happened to look at what happened to their predecessors. Their top leadership was systematically eliminated. The previous Iranian supreme leader, dead. The Supreme National Security Council Secretary, dead. The Supreme Leader Office Advisor, dead. The Supreme Leader Military Office Chief, dead. The Defense Minister, no longer with us. The IRGC Commander, dead. The Armed Forces General Staff Commander, dead. The Intelligence Minister, dead. The IRGC Navy commander, no longer here. The IRGC intel chief, dead. I skipped over a bunch, and I could go on and on and on.
Looks like we've liquidated the leadership. A lot of bad guys are dead, the ones that were powering the Hezbollah, Houthi, and Hamas terrorist organizations. I'm not wasting my time being sad about it, neither should you. The real concern has been what is next. Apparently, it turns out that the rot runs deep. Whoever it is that the U.S. is negotiating with now doesn't seem consistent on playing ball. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. One big question is this: what is Iran going to do with the uranium that it has already enriched? Almost 1,000 pounds. Hegseth had an answer for that question as well. Listen.
With Iran is their handing over of all of their enriched uranium, and they're promising not to enrich any future uranium, a non-negotiable for the U.S.
Well, it's always been non-negotiable that they won't have nuclear capabilities. And so right now it's buried, and we're watching it. We know exactly what they have, and they know that. And they will either give it to us, which the president has laid out. They'll give it to us voluntarily. We'll get it. We'll take it out. Or if we have to do something else ourselves, like we did in Midnight Hammer or something like that, we reserve that opportunity. But what's clear, what the new Iranian regime knows, is they'll never have a nuclear weapon or the.
Yeah. No ambiguity. No endless UN debates. Hand it over, we'll come get it ourselves. And get this, the U.S. military has briefed President Trump on a complex commando plan to seize nearly 1,000 pounds. That's what it comes out to, this 400 kilos. Comes out to like 880 pounds, something like that. It's highly enriched uranium. About 1,000 pounds, a bit more than we've been told before, but, you know, it's not an exact science. They've got what they've got. Hundreds of pounds are rumored to be stored in tunnels, hundreds more buried beneath the rubble of what's left from Operation Midnight Hammer. One way or another, Trump is going to make sure that he accomplishes what he set out to do, which is to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. And Hegseth says they know it. One more time, here he is.
It's always been non-negotiable that they won't have nuclear capabilities. And so right now it's buried, and we're watching it. We know exactly what they have, and they know that. And they will either give it to us, which the president has laid out. They'll give it to us voluntarily. We'll get it. We'll take it out. Or if we have to do something else ourselves, like we did in Midnight Hammer or something like that, we reserve that opportunity. But what's clear, what the new Iranian regime knows, is they'll never have a nuclear weapon or the capability to get a path to one. As far as the new regime, you heard the list that I read. It's a new group of people who've seen the full capability of the United States military and has a new calculus about what it means to negotiate with us, hence why they came to the table, wanting a ceasefire and the shooting to stop. So this new regime, which the regime has been changed, has a different interaction with the U.S.
Now, look, I'm not in the business of sugarcoating for clicks. This ceasefire is fragile. Fragile because the Iranian regime wasn't some monolithic beast. It was a hydra of hardliners, Revolutionary Guard factions, proxy militias scattered across the region in all 31 of its provinces. We took off their heads, but the body, well, it's still twitching. Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen. They're not suddenly turning into peaceniks just because Tehran waved a white flag. One rocket barrage from those clowns, one assassination attempt on the new regime's moderates, and the whole thing comes apart like a cheap suit. Plus, let's be real, Iran's economy not doing terribly well. It's in the toilet. Their people are restless after decades of theocracy, but that doesn't mean the mullah loyalists won't try a comeback. Of course, they will. Trump's team knows this. That's why we're keeping carriers in the Gulf, why the message remains crystal clear. Any violation means we finish what we started. It's like Secretary Hegseth says, our leaders have been kicking this can down the road for too long. Someone had to confront it once and for all. And the benefit of being term limited is that Trump doesn't care if he's unpopular about it. He's a fixer, and he's going to fix it. The strikes have been proportional, the objectives met, and our military has executed flawlessly. The ceasefire gives us breathing room, at least for now, but it is fragile. Don't be surprised if there are some bumps in the road. And that's the monologue. I used to think a mattress was just furniture. I did. Until I got my ghost bed. Love it. Love it. Honestly, the first night I slept on it, I woke up thinking, this is great. I felt great. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff, although they look great too. Look at it. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I notice a difference right away. If you're waking up stiff, tossing and turning, sleeping hot, even taking some pain meds to get to bed, well, that's not probably a good look. Need a new mattress. And here's another thing. For 101 days, you can try it risk-free. 101 days. If you don't feel satisfied and feel the difference, send it back. Offering you 10% off right now because you're a Gruber listener and watcher. Go to ghostbed.com/Gruber. Promo code Gruber, you're going to save an extra 10%. That's ghostbed.com/Gruber. It's the perfect gift, too. If you know somebody who's having a birthday flash, it would be a great time for a new bed. Ghostbed.com. Promo code Gruber. I'll be right back.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down.
So, I was telling you this, and I want to share this with you. This is very telling, all right? The headline is that India and its coal power demand is going up 12% between April and June. Between now and June, 12% jump. India's coal demand for power plants set to rise 12% in the April to June quarter amid the peak electricity demand season in the country. Demand for coal-fired power plants expected to hit 233 million tons, while electricity generation at these plants is forecast to jump 13.3% this quarter. So a demand rise of 11.5%, a generation increase of 13.3%. We're just going to put it in the middle at 12%. India preparing to meet the surge in electrical demand during the peak consumption period, May and June. So I use this for illustration purposes. While the geniuses in America and Germany and France and the UK bulldoze their coal-fired power plants to save the planet from climate change, India and China continue to build new coal-fired power plants and burn the hell out of it. So while you're sitting here with your windmills and solar panels just praying that the wind blows or the sun shines so that you have enough electricity to get through, they're burning up the coal from China and Mongolia and India and all over the world. Australia, biggest coal mines in the world. I don't know how the export laws are, but there you go. If you're tired of taking vitamins that just don't seem to work, Protovite is a breakthrough liquid formula designed to absorb quickly so your body actually uses it. Boom, just drink it right down. When we say multivitamin, I mean it. 100 nutrients, B vitamins, amino acids, zinc, plant extracts. You get daily support for energy, focus, immune health, only from Victory Nutrition International. Nutrition that gets in. Start your mornings with Protovite and feel the difference. Get 20% off today. When you subscribe, you get 20% more and free shipping. If you subscribe, you get 20% off and free shipping forever. They're great vitamins. We've done the research. VNI.life/Gruber. You want to feel energized and feel good? VNI.life/Gruber. Promo code's Gruber. I'll take a break. Be right back.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down. Roll your words, take your aim and take me out. Keep on shooting and missing if it makes you feel strong, and I'll keep stocking up on ammunition. On ammunition.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
Hi, this is Chris from Colorful Colorado. I'm drawbridge in the Getter Chat. I trust no one for my news except Real America's Voice. So if anyone asks, I was never here.
I'm Patriot Mermaid, and I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. When the mainstream media wasn't giving us the truth, I went and looked for the truth and found it on Real America's Voice. Come and join us. Come on.
Hi, I'm Chris from Illinois, and we like to watch Real America's Voice in the War Room with Stephen K. Bannon for all the great guests. Everyone from Terry Lake, the great Frank Gaffney, Trump 24, Retribution.
This should not be a big question. This should not be an issue. Not for me. You know, it's one thing in elementary school, okay, the boys and girls play together, they play flag football or whatever. But when you get to a certain level of competition, certainly by the time you get to high school and into college and the Olympics, clearly, men should not be competing in women's sports. I don't care how they dress. I don't care what they call themselves. I don't care what their pronouns are. Pretty simple common sense stuff here. Men should not compete against women. I mean, that's pretty simple. My next guest feels strongly about this because her career in sports was impacted by people who think it's perfectly fine and normal for somebody who is a man identifying as a woman to compete against actual women in sports. Peyton McNabb, Independent Women Ambassador, joining me now. Peyton, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so real quickly, give the folks your story. Just give us the backstory. What happened to you?
Yeah, so pretty quickly, my senior year of high school, I was completely impacted by this insane thing that all girls and women are having to deal with right now. I was in high school. It was my senior year. I'd been preparing for this moment. I was a 3-sport athlete. I played basketball, volleyball, and softball. And going into my volleyball season, my last volleyball season ever, I was a captain and a senior on the team. And I got completely knocked out cold by a guy on the other team, a guy who thought he was a girl and everyone around him pretended he was a girl as well. And because of that, I got seriously injured. I got a concussion, a brain bleed, permanent whiplash, and a lot of other things that follow that. It's been over 3 years, and I'm still dealing with some side effects. And I don't know, like, it's getting to the point where that's just a new normal to me. And I don't know if I'll ever fully heal from this, which is completely ridiculous because it could have been avoided 1,000%. So, and I'm in the middle of North Carolina. I'm in such a rural area where I've never seen this before. So for it to happen to me here, I just knew it kind of woke us up to realizing it's happening everywhere.
So a permanent injury, a permanent life-changing, life-altering injury because somebody thought it would be a good idea for a male to play against females. Tell me about this this individual that unleashed this strike on the ball that injured you. I mean, clearly a man, right?
Yeah, clearly a man. I mean, everyone else tucked in their jerseys except for him because we were wearing spandex, like really small shorts. So it was really obvious. We didn't play any other girl who could jump at that level or hit it that hard. There's a reason why men's volleyball nets are 7 inches higher than women's. That isn't something that they just randomly made a rule. There was a reason for that accommodation to be made, and he proved it. He proved it very clear to us. He got transitioned at a very early age, so I've always felt bad because he's been lied to his whole life, and it's completely unfair, and that's a whole other topic. But for us to go up against this team who's not very good, but they're only winning because of this guy, and then after he seriously injures another girl on the court, they kept him in and did not take him out because that was the only reason they win games. And it was just really sad to see. It was really unfair and really unsafe.
There has been a lot of movement because of efforts of people like yourself saying, look, we can't have this. You've paid a very high price for this insanity. I don't know what else to call it. Look, Title IX was created to protect women's sports. It was not created to protect men dressing as women and then wandering into the sports arena to pretend they're women. It was not what it's for. It's to protect women's sports, to give equal opportunity to men, right? That's what it was for. But there has been progress. You must have some optimism about where we're headed because this whole insanity peaked about 2023. Detransitioning has become something that we talk about on this program and elsewhere. It used to be completely taboo. Couldn't talk about it. Well, we do. And we have people like you on the program telling the truth about what's happened. Do you feel that we're turning the page at least a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, even with what you just said, just a few years ago, we weren't even allowed to talk about this at all. So especially not as much as we've talked about it. I've spoke about it as much as you possibly could for the past 3 years nonstop. And me and several other girls who have been in this for years now. And it's come a long way. I mean, obviously the administration has a big deal to do with that. This was something that was really important for them during the campaign, and then they've proven that it is still important to them after the results, which has always been super optimistic for all of us because, you know, the past administration, it felt like we were screaming into an empty abyss. No one was even acknowledging us or thinking that this was a big deal at all because they didn't, and they had said that plainly. So for the new administration to step in and take charge and stand up for their women and girls was definitely a sigh of relief and makes me very hopeful for the future if we can continue to fight this. It's still far from being over, of course, but we finally have more and more people, which isn't a good thing because more and more people are being affected, but it just shows that it's happening everywhere and it's not stopping until it gets stopped.
Hey, does it concern you that if there's a change in leadership in Washington, that this gets pushed to the back burner and then these folks come back out of the woodwork, those that would believe that after a 1-hour session with a counselor, you can have a radical mastectomy, double mastectomy, or you can start on massive hormone therapy procedures at the age of 12. I mean, the thing is they do, it's evil, frankly. This is just one symptom of this whole movement, what happened to you, I mean. Does it concern you that if somebody else gets back in charge, that it goes back the other way and somebody else pays a price like you have?
It absolutely does concern me, and it's concerned me from the beginning, and everyone that has been outspoken about this has touched on this as well, because that's why it's so important for states to be involved, for states to choose to protect their girls in their state, because if a new administration does come in, they could just wipe out everything that this administration has done, and now like it's all back to square one, except for there's been over half of the states that have passed some sort of legislation in their state to protect their women and girls. So of course I would love for it to be all 50, which we're going to still continue to fight for, but it's a lot harder in those bluer states, as you can imagine. And it's not fair for those girls that live there that vote for these officials who are supposed to be protecting them and they choose not to. So it's incredibly important for the states to step up for their women and girls. Thankfully, we have seen quite a bit of them do so, but I would love for all 50 to be safeguarded, of course. But we can just keep working until we get there, and that's absolutely a concern, because this what we're fighting is evil and it is crazy, and it should never be happening to begin with, and now the girls are the ones that are suffering because of it.
Well, Paige, I tip my hat to you, because you're doing the hard work of going out and telling your story and talking to people, and I'm guessing that you don't get all hugs and kisses along the way. I'm guessing your inbox is pretty vile from time to time as well. I can only imagine. Peyton McNabb, Independent Women Ambassador, thank you for being here. It's an important story. Keep telling it. Don't be afraid. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much. We've got to tell these stories fearlessly, and I'm proud of her. Peyton McNabb. I'll take a break. Be right back.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down. Roll your words, take your aim and take me out. Keep on shooting and missing if it makes you feel strong, and I'll keep stocking up on ammunition. On ammunition.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
Hi, this is Chris from Colorful Colorado. I'm drawbridge in the Getter Chat. I trust no one for my news except Real America's Voice. So if anyone asks, I was never here.
I'm Patriot Mermaid, and I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. When the mainstream media wasn't giving us the truth, I went and looked for the truth and found it on Real America's Voice. Come and join us. Come on.
I'm Chris from Illinois, and we like to watch Real America's Voice in the War Room with Stephen K. Bannon for all the great guests. Everyone from Carrie Lake, the great Frank Gaffney, Trump 24, Retribution.
right, welcome back to it as we get back into it here. I love American companies. I love people that are willing to put it on the line and go get it for themselves and for the people around them. So my next guest has done for years now. He decided to start a flannel shirt company in Detroit. And boy, has he done well. Brad, who is founder of Muskox, joining me now. Brad, nice to see you today.
Steve, good morning. Great to see you as well, my friends.
Great to see you. Look, you rolled up your sleeves, no pun intended, here about, 4 or 5 years ago. You decided to make the best flannel shirt that could possibly be made. You've done it. You're a Detroit company. This is basically, we're getting into spring now, and that's why I love Muskox. Perfect jacket. It's a jacket, not just a shirt. It's a jacket for this kind of weather. Tell the folks your backstory real quick, because it really took some guts.
Sure. Yeah, you're spot on. About 5 years ago, we were bold enough or harebrained enough, I don't know which one, to start Muskox. And with a simple mission, we want to create the best flannel shirt on the planet. And, here we are with, a lot of ups and downs. It's been trying 5 years, but, for 4 straight years now, we've been selected as the best overall flannel on the market. So we're a little bit of a David story here at Muskox. And simply put, we believe in building shirts that are high quality and last. They're not the cheapest out there. We really see them as an investment. So they're super soft. They're double brushed. They're really built to last. We could get into all sorts of detail, but I think that's the point, is that we do the small things right to be able to have something that really lasts, and it just makes your life a little bit better. We all got so much going on, and we create shirts that are that are strong enough for you.
And I appreciate that. And look, everybody around here wears those, especially in winter, of course. But it's this, it's this tweener season. It's the schizophrenic April. It's 25 degrees one day, it's 55 degrees and rain the next, whatever. It's all over the place. And that's when these shirts are absolutely ideal. When you're going out to walk the dog, you're going to go check the newspaper, you're going to take out the garbage, maybe do a little yard work. Ideal shirt to have around. And I just love the fact it's based in Detroit. Plus, you do some really cool things. You give to wildlife in Alaska every time somebody buys one of these shirts, which I think is a great mission. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so very simply put, we believe that you speak loudest when you speak with your pocketbook. And so we're named after a fantastic animal, the muskox. So for every flannel that's purchased, we give $5 to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. And that's something that's always been important to us. Muskox, they're fantastic animals, right? They're survivors. They're prehistoric animals that are still here today. They're led by a single strong female, and they're herd, and they have the most insulating fur on the planet. And so that's really what inspires us here at Muskox to build a great flannel based on this great American wildlife. And of course, we need to support them on an ongoing basis. But
absolutely.
It is that season, where it's tough. It can be tough to know what to wear. It's kind of cold. It's kind of warm. And I think that's really where we shine, like you were saying, because, flannels keep you warm, but you can roll up the sleeves if you get a little bit warm. So we let you live in the moment just a little bit more. I know we're always thinking about the future. When you have a nice, comfortable muskox on, that's when you can live in the moment for just a little while longer. And that's what we've heard a lot around from our customers this time of year.
Yeah, and you're going to be part of this big old, I don't understand what people do sometimes, but gravel bike road races, it's coming up, and you're a big part of that in Hastings, Michigan. If gravity would not allow me to do this, Brad, but other people can do that. Hey, tell me about it.
Yeah, so there's a road race a gravel bike race called Barry-Roubaix. Next weekend, it's just outside of Grand Rapids, in a town called Hastings, like you said. And so we're sponsors of the race. We'll be there. We know people love coming out and seeing us in person. If you want to check out something new, this might be, and you're in the area, this might be a cool race for you to see. But we're always supporting people getting outside. In this case, happens to be for a gravel bike race. But whatever you're into, we hope you're getting outside. Even if the weather is a little imperfect. I always like to say it's a little tougher to enact every day, but life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. So even when it's imperfect outside, we want to encourage everybody to get outside here at Muskox.
There you go. Brad Hoos, and you can find out more at gomuskox.com. Use the promo code Gruber. You'll save $15. GoMuskox.com/Gruber. Promo code is heavyweight. Let me be clear about that. And the QR code on your screen will take you right there. You'll save $15. Make no mistake. It's an investment, and it's well worth it. Brad, thank you as always. And as always, congratulations on continued success with this great company of yours.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it. We appreciate your support. We appreciate all the great support from Gruber Nation over the years. We're certainly happy to have you all in our corner, and thanks to everyone for checking us out and listening to our story. I'm grateful for that.
There you have it. Brad Hoos. Great company, a great company to support. Brad, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a great year, as they will. Building the best. Look, I wouldn't tell you about this product if we didn't believe in it. Everybody here wears it, all right? Everybody here. GoMuskox.com. You can find out more. Coming up in a moment, we're going to tell you about some other things going on, like the Forgotten America podcast. The Forgotten America podcast, which is available on YouTube. A lot of great people on YouTube right now watching the program live. It's a great place to pick up the podcast. Forgotten America, this week, we have Susan Kokinda, Double Drop, right? Double Drop, Susan Kokinda, one of the most interesting people you're ever going to hear, talking about the way the globalists manipulate everything. You wonder about why some things happen? Susan Kokinda has some great answers for you. Peter Schweitzer, another great podcast on there. Kyle Rittenhouse. There's a whole library now. Me and Ivy, we go through all these different things. Forgotten America. I'll take a break and be right back.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down. Load your words, take your aim and take me out. Keep on shooting and missing if it makes you feel strong, and I'll keep stocking up on ammunition. On ammunition.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
Hi, this is Chris from Colorful Colorado. I'm drawbridge in the Getter Chat. I trust no one for my news except Real America's Voice. So if anyone asks, I was never here.
I'm Patriot Mermaid, and I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. When the mainstream media wasn't giving us the truth, I went and looked for the truth and found it on Real America's Voice. Come and join us. Come on.
All right, so those would-be bombers in New York City, the two punks, for lack of a better term, that came and threw the bombs into the pro-Trump crowd outside Gracie Mansion there, the mayor's house in New York City. Their names Amir Bolat and Ibrahim Qayyumi, 18 and 19. They're indicted on 8 counts so far in the attempted bombing. They were live bombs that were thrown, right? They had nails and so forth in them. All I know is I want to start terror, bro. I want to petrify these people, Qayyumi told Bolat the morning before the attack, according to the indictment. They intended to kill 30 to 60 people. Kill. That was their plan. According to the indictment, Bolat directed Qayyumi to commit the attack as soon as you light it, citing how some of the bomb's fuses go off quicker than others. Bolat calculated the attack would kill 8 to 16 people, or as many as 60, if you took it out into a crowded area properly. These are the people that we've invited into our country. Nice of us, right? Those are the people we've invited into our country. And those on the left would think that, well, hell, that's a good idea. Keep them here. That's Antifa. That's your Antifa crowd at work. These people, right? And by the way, coming up, I'm going to tell you about Antifa-linked groups' plan to structurally change the United States. It's frightening how many things you can learn by just reading what's out there every day. Frightening what's out there. The people that are attacking this country and everything else. By the way, it's Claire Abernathy this week on Forgotten America. She is a detransitioner. I told you it's the dirty little secret of the transitioning movement of transgenderism. Claire Abernathy, to follow up on Peyton McNabb's interview here. You can find that at YouTube. Want to hear a story of a girl that met with a counselor for 1 hour. Then they got her scheduled for massive hormone therapy and a radical double mastectomy. 1 hour with a therapist. Check it out, Forgotten America. It's on YouTube. These are all worth listening to. They're great. You're going to enjoy it. I'll take a break and be right back.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down. Roll your words, take your aim and take me out. Keep on shooting and missing if it makes you feel strong, and I'll keep stocking up on ammunition. On ammunition.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting.
Voice Newsbreak. I'm Terrence Bates. It has been a busy morning for President Trump and the First Lady as they hosted hundreds of kids for the annual White House Easter egg roll. During remarks kicking off the event, 47 remembering that egg prices were sky high when he took office. Now, the price for a carton of eggs is much more affordable.
Just last year, it's hard to believe, they didn't want me to order eggs for the Easter egg roll, the Easter egg hunt that we have here every year. They wanted me to use plastic. I said, I'm not using plastic. We'll get it solved. And within a short period of time, eggs came down. They came down 40%, 50%. And by the time we got there, we had so many eggs, we didn't know what to do with them. And today we have more than 40,000 eggs supplied by all of the great egg farmers that are with us.
The president has a lot more than eggs on his plate today. He's set to host a White House press briefing at any minute now. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and other military leaders are expected to join him. Today's meeting comes on the heels of an F-15 crew that was shot down over Iran being rescued, and President Trump threatening to attack Iran's power plants and bridges tomorrow if the Islamist regime doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. The president's Easter Truth Social post warning Iran about the impending attack still has the nation buzzing. The commander-in-chief writing, and this is a quote, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. Open up the effing Strait of Hormuz, you crazy people, or you'll be living in hell, he writes. About an hour ago, the commander-in-chief doubling down on all of this, appearing to hold out hope for a peaceful resolution, but seemingly prepared to move forward with force if necessary.
They've made a proposal, and it's a significant proposal. It's a significant step. It's not good enough, but it's a very significant step. They have made, they're negotiating now, and they've made a very significant step. We'll see what happens.
These latest Trump threats come as Israel says it killed the head of intelligence for Iran's Revolutionary Guard. While making the announcement, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz saying, quote, Iran's leaders live with the sense of being targeted. We will continue to hunt them down one by one. Well, as I mentioned, we are expecting President Trump to take the podium for a White House press briefing this afternoon. While the war in Iran and the rescue of an F-15 fighter jet crew that was shot down over Iran will likely be issues he'll address, the commander-in-chief could also face questions about his proposed 2027 budget. The spending plan includes a request for $152 million to reopen the infamous Alcatraz prison. Alcatraz closed more than 60 years ago and has since been a tourist destination. So far, the Bureau of Prisons hasn't determined an exact cost for rebuilding and reopening the prison as an active facility. However, officials with the Bureau say the agency is moving forward with evaluating and formulating the actions necessary to reopen and operate the prison. President Trump jumping headfirst into the California gubernatorial race. While you were sleeping, the commander-in-chief was wide awake and endorsing former British government aide Steve Hilton to be California's next governor. In his endorsement pitch on Truth Social, 47 writing, people are fleeing, crime is increasing, and taxes are the highest of any state in the country, maybe the world. Steve can turn it around before it's too late, and as president, I will help him to do so. Just days after appearing on American Sunrise to discuss his campaign, Hilton now has President Trump's complete and total endorsement. 10 candidates are in California's open gubernatorial primary. The top 2 vote getters will then move on to the general election. As I mentioned earlier, we are keeping our eyes on the White House, where President Trump is expected to host a White House press briefing at any minute now. Here's a live look at the room. You can see the reporters are in place and ready for the president to arrive. We're hearing that the president will be joined by members from the Pentagon, specifically Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and other military leaders. The focus of the press briefing will likely be the ongoing situation in Iran. We will take you here live the moment the president and the rest of the crew arrive. For now, let's get you back to your regularly scheduled programming. We appreciate you being here with us.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down. Load your words, take your aim and take me out. Keep on shooting and missing if it makes you feel strong, and I'll keep stocking up on ammunition. On ammunition.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting
America's ability to refine rare earth elements and get them into production at far higher rates and cut the cord to China. I'll tell you more. And number 3, Iran set its sights on a critical piece of Saudi infrastructure yesterday. You see, the petrol line, it's an oil pipeline that runs west across Saudi Arabia and allows that nation to pump up to 7 million barrels a day away from the Persian Gulf so it can be offloaded in the Red Sea, instead bypassing the Strait of Hormuz. Good for the Saudis, good for the world, bad for Iran. So they made a drone attack that actually hit this pipeline. It's been there for quite some time. Usually they do about 2 million barrels a day, but they can increase to 7 million barrels a day. Not enough to stop the flow. That's good news. Meanwhile, it appears the ceasefire, albeit fragile, is holding. Oil dropped about $20 a barrel yesterday, which should be reflected in the price of gas soon, but it's not today. Gas goes up again today. So what about the ceasefire? Seems there was a lot of BS flying around. Caroline Leavitt took it head on yesterday, rips the media for pushing out a 10-point plan from Iran that was not actually accepted by the president. Here's what she said.
Originally put forward a 10-point plan that was fundamentally unserious, unacceptable, and completely discarded. It was literally thrown in the garbage by President Trump and his negotiating team. Many outlets in this room have falsely reported on that plan as being acceptable to the United States, and that is false. With the president's deadline fast approaching and the United States military completely decimating Iran with each passing hour, the regime acknowledged reality to the negotiating team. They put forward a more reasonable and entirely different and condensed plan to the president and his team. President Trump and the team determined the new modified plan was a workable basis on which to negotiate and to align it with our own 15-point proposal. The president's red lines, namely the end of Iranian enrichment in Iran, have not changed. And the idea that President Trump would ever accept an Iranian wish list as a deal is completely absurd. The president will only make a deal that serves in the best interests of the United States of America. And he as a negotiating team will focus on this effort over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Tough job there for sure. Look, these ceasefires are fragile. This one is fragile, but they didn't take some wish list from Iran. You know, when you saw the 10-point plan come out, it did not include nuclear materials at all. Ivy is here with me this morning. Ivy, good morning.
Good morning.
Not hearing me particularly well, but that's okay. We have a little issue with my ear and yours, but we'll get through it. Look, Caroline,
my ear's in the same boat, but that's okay. We'll work through it. No worries.
Anyhow, so Caroline Leavitt was like 27 years old when she took this job. She has been... Let's just talk about her for a moment. She is phenomenal at her job. She sits up there and takes out these attack probes from all these mainstream media outlets. I think she's incredible. I do.
She is. She's really unflappable. No matter what comes at her, she just has a great response, and she really just represents, what the president is thinking and has to say about every topic. I'm not sure I've seen anyone do it quite as good as she does.
Yeah,
in terms of just
I thought Sarah Huckabee Sanders was the best for a long time, and then along came Caroline. And I've been in the room with her, as you know.
Right.
I think she's unflappable, and it's because every day they're throwing curveballs. Go ahead.
I said steadfast and strong for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear you very well. So we apologize. Sometimes you just have to battle through a little tech issue. So today we're not hearing each other properly, and that's the way that is. What else you got on your list today?
There's something I want to play for you, Steve. CNN and I believe it was New York Times got a lot of heat for putting out, the fake the Iranian demands, and they weren't really actually the accurate ones. But here's CNN actually holding someone accountable. Let's listen to it.
Here's some of what he actually has said about the depravity of the October 7th terror attack, the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Quote, "It doesn't matter if effing rapes happened on October 7th. That doesn't change the dynamic for me. The Palestinian resistance is not perfect." Now, let that sink in. Hassan Piker is excusing sexual violence by Hamas terrorists. He also claims Hamas is, quote, 1,000 times better than Israel. Hamas is a designated terror organization, not just by the U.S., but by the EU, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, just to name a few. And here's what Piker said about the horrors of September 11th, 2001.
America deserved 9/11, dude. F it. I'm saying it. We f***ing totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. We did. We f***ing did.
Yikes.
Anyhow,
so I don't know if you've heard that. Have you heard that guy before, Hassan Piker?
He's the guy. He's on the campaign trail with Democrat Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed in Michigan and Summer Lee in Pennsylvania. This is the guy they're bringing out to promote, apparently, their morality. This is their morality play. This guy is the most hateful. I can't repeat the words that I'd like to.
Right. Well, I mean,
Hassan Piker.
Yeah, in that video, he was justifying rape when Hamas Islamists do it, and it's actually Dana Bash is saying, this is
wrong.
This is wrong, and Hamas is a terror organization, and I just it's when you hear these things, it's like, come on, that is just unbelievable. Did I just actually hear that? You have to go back and listen to it again and. Wow, you just think,
here's the thing. When you look at Abdul El Sayed, the candidate in Michigan, and Summer Lee, the candidate in Pennsylvania, and this is the guy they bring out to their campaign event, is that not disqualifying?
Yeah, it would seem so. I would say so, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely disqualifying for these people. Anyhow, so for anybody who wonders who the Democrats are, now you know. It's crystal clear who they are. They've put this guy front and center to say that raping people is okay, murdering people okay. 9/11 was our fault. Now this is kind of the fringe crazy stuff you heard back 25 years ago. But now it's gone mainstream, for this party. It's sickening. And that's where we are, Ivy.
And that's what we like to really point it out to our viewers and listeners, because when people say, oh, this stuff doesn't happen. Well, it's out there, and here is exactly what he believes. And then you wonder if these people are on campaign trails with, candidates. How could you have this person on your campaign
Here's the real test.
if they don't believe the same thing?
Of course they believe the same thing. Here's the real test. When are people like Van Hollen and Murphy and the other Democrat senators going to come out and denounce this guy and say, we can't have this as part of our deal?
Right.
A news flash, they're not going to. Ivy, love you. Thank you.
Love you too, Steve.
All right. So, anyhow, working through all of it here on is it Thursday? It feels like a Thursday. I'll be right back.
When the world takes its shots, some break, others rise. From Rachel Holt comes Ammunition in collaboration with Bass Records. Stand against the noise, the hate, the voices trying to tear you down. Every word thrown your way. Fuel to fight back stronger. Scan the QR code and download now on iTunes. Turn pressure into power. Own it today. Only on Real America's Music.
So bring it, knock me, tear me, rock me, mow me down. Load your words, take your aim and take me out. Keep on shooting and missing if it makes you feel strong, and I'll keep stocking up on ammunition. On ammunition.
Through every storm, every moment of uncertainty,
Everybody needs to pray for Charlie Kirk right now.
Rav has stood strong.
We're not going to tolerate this stuff anymore.
Turn that anger into motivation to save this nation.
When we move together, there is power.
The cries of this widow will echo like a battle cry.
This is more than news. It's a movement.
This revolution of people taking their countries back.
A turning point. A chance to be part of something greater than yourself. Scan the QR code and stand with Rav. The story isn't over, and neither is your part in it. Step in. Be counted. Be heard. Together, we are Rav.
We will achieve American greatness. And we are just getting started.
Hi, this is Chris from colorful Colorado. I'm drawbridge in the Getter Chat. I trust no one for my news except Real America's Voice. So if anyone asks, I was never here.
I'm Patriot Mermaid, and I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. When the mainstream media wasn't giving us the truth, I went and looked for the truth and found it on Real America's Voice. Come and join us. Come on.
Hi, I'm Chris from Illinois, and we like to watch Real America's Voice in the War Room with Stephen K. Bannon for all the great guests. Everyone from Kerry Lake, the great Frank Gaffney, Trump 24, Retribution.
Back to it now. As we continue the conversation, my next guest, we're going to talk about baseball for a minute because it's an American identity. But you might have noticed here recently, America did not come away with a big win. America did not come away with a big win at this World Baseball Classic, right? Joanna Newman is with me. Joanna, how are you today?
Great, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Big baseball fan, are you?
I'm afraid I have to confess, yes. Yeah. I love baseball, and I was watching the World Baseball Classic. This is not like the World Series where various teams we all know compete. This is nations competing. Yeah. So, Italy had a surprising run, and of course the Japanese are always strong. But it ended up the final was between Venezuela and America. And both teams came out before the game to hear their national anthems. And during the Venezuela anthem, every player was crying. They were singing out with great pride. Boycott declaring their allegiance. And Venezuela is a country that has gone through quite a bit of hell recently.
Yeah, you think?
Decades of corruption and cartels, and then of course Trump, shooting in to liberate them from dictatorship. But anyway, through all of this, they are clinging to pride in their nation. And then the Americans, our national anthem came up next. Only 2 players even took off their hats.
Yeah.
The rest of them stood there stoically.
Shameful.
Nobody sang. And I thought, I wonder if they even know the words.
Well, I'm sure they do, but here's what has happened in the United States, and actually, Ivy and I were just talking about this, and a lot of people do. Why do you have to inject politics into everything? I just want to watch a basketball game or a football game or a baseball game. I'd like the Tigers to win more often, but hey, that's where I am, all right? So, but I don't need political slogans on the backs of their helmets. You've got this Jaden Ivey, who was just fired by the Chicago Bulls because he's not going to wear a pride flag because he's a Christian. He said, I'm not going to do that. And he gets fired because he's not going to be politically in step with some movement that he doesn't agree with. Why can't we just have sports? Why can't we just have baseball? That's my question, Joanna. Why can't we just relax for a minute and not be so divided about every single thing?
But why are we divided about the national anthem?
We shouldn't be, but it's been poisoned.
Well, let's take it back. I mean, the response is not, let them have it. No. I was thinking about all this, Steve, because it came at a time when the Senate was starting to debate the Save America Act, which, of course, would protect our elections from from illegal immigrants voting.
Right.
And that's important to our sovereignty. But this observation at the site of the anthem and no one on our side singing made me feel that we have to do more than pass the SAVE Act. We have to, and you know that I've written a new book about the founding fathers,
right,
and one founding mother, and I started thinking about what they would think about our loss of pride. And they would be very disappointed. And they all had very strong views. Benjamin Franklin was particularly outspoken that people who wanted to immigrate had to adopt our culture, our customs, and obey our laws. I mean, and
that's exactly right. Teddy Roosevelt said, a hyphenated American is no American at all. Right?
Right.
That's another good example.
And so I just think that all of the founders thought the most important aspect of citizenship was virtue. John Adams talked about a moral people. And that was their yardstick. They wanted people who thrilled, who resonated to the themes of the Declaration of Independence, that their rights were inalienable.
A well-educated and moral populace.
Yes.
That's what you needed.
Literate. Jefferson
right.
said,
well-educated and moral foundations, and
yes.
We're adrift in that, Joanna. We are adrift, and I agree with you. Look, people they're moving to not even do the Pledge of Allegiance, and you talk about the national anthem, but the American flag, it's divisive. It shows white supremacy and all this other nonsense. Stop it. Start doing the Pledge of Allegiance in every elementary classroom. Make sure you tell them the truth about the flag. Take Howard Zinn and every book he's ever written and burn it because that's what it deserves, right? I mean, just get rid of the garbage.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, and I think...
And I'm not for book burning. Don't get people, oh my God, Gruber's for book burning. No. Howard Zinn is a fiction writer who destroyed America in a book that took less than 4 months to write. It's been adopted by the radical left. It teaches all sorts of egregiously false things about this country. Anyhow,
I
last
agree.
word to you.
And we need to, instill a pride in America. I think this is what President Trump is doing. Yeah. He wants us to be proud of our country, of our fellow citizens. And you mentioned the flag. I heard the other day that you can always tell a Republican House because they're the only ones that fly the flag.
Well, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but the flag flies in my yard, Joanna. I got to leave it there. The book, by the way, Trump's Superpower, a historical novel about the Founding Fathers and one founding mother. You can check that book out. Joanna, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. She's a former LA Times and USA Today White House correspondent, by the way. She didn't get here by accident. I'll take a break and be right back.
When it's breaking, we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer. I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the RAV hosts drink. Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Let me go over this again for you because I find this to be incredibly important. Rare earth elements are not rare. They're not. I'm not sure why they're even called rare earth elements, to be honest with you. But they are critical for high-tech items, your phone, fighter jets, AI, all of these things. And, but the problem that we have is over time, we stopped refining rare earth elements in the United States, but China didn't. China kept refining, building new facilities to refine more. We have one called RE Alloys, and they are just about ready to really get going. I believe they're in Ohio, right? And they just created a deal with Sheep Creek in Montana. They'll get dysprosium, terbium, yttrium, NdPr. I don't even know what these things are. I'm not going to kid you. I don't know what those things are, but apparently they're really important to my computer, to my AI software on my truck, to satellite imagery, to Starlink, to all of these things, and programming systems and everything. So RE Alloys, keep an eye on that company because they're going to be a very big deal going forward. RE Alloys, a very big deal, and keeping us safe, all right? Let's see, oil is creeping back up. Anthony, I don't know that. Anthony has just asked me an incredibly important question. Why do we call oil fossil fuels? Because there was this belief at one time this is a bunch of dead dinosaurs. I think that's been disproven. Hydrocarbons, pressure and time create oil.
I heard it was the idea to make oil seem like it was more of a commodity and a rare thing instead of
maybe
this infinite supply.
You mean Rockefeller gamed us again?
Yeah.
The Rothschilds gamed us?
That's what it was, Steve.
See, there you go. Conspiracy Theories 101. Really, they're hydrocarbons. And here's the other thing that they kept telling us. Since I was your age, Anthony, and before, actually, we're running out of oil. We're at peak oil. We're at peak oil. There is no more. And every year they find more and more and more.
Oil is the second most abundant liquid on this planet.
Is that true?
I think so.
Good fact. I'll be right back.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. news doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink what the RAV hosts drink. Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Lazar Garcianovich here from Japan. Love Real America's Voice, real news, honest views, and love seeing everyone there. God bless America.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.
Hi, I'm Bridgie. And why do I love Rob? Well, even out here in the cornfields of Iowa, I still need news I can depend on. That is Real America's Voice.
Shifting gears now. There's a lot going on right now between the Iran war, mixed economic signals. Oil dropped with the 2-week ceasefire being put into place. But what does that mean for you and me and the economy? Join me to discuss precious metals specialist from Birch Gold, Philip Patrick. Philip, let's see. There's a ceasefire. There's no ceasefire. The strait's open. The strait's closed. Oil goes from $115 yesterday to $95. And then a lot of chaos, Philip. Why does it feel like the economy's all over the place? Maybe because it is?
Yeah, that would be a very good summary, Steve. You're correct. We're seeing multiple pressure points hit at once and a huge amount of volatility. And I think ultimately in the backdrop, we've got a financial system that's running on debt. Oil prices very volatile. We saw massive spikes. And as you point out, they've come down, still about 50% up from where they were prior to the Iran invasion. And of course, that will feed longer term directly into inflation. At the same time, we haven't got a handle on government borrowing. That is exploding. Something like $9 billion a day in new debts getting refinanced. And that number predates the Iran war. Then you layer on this market volatility, stocks, precious metals, everything's volatile. And I think people right now are getting confused. We expect markets to immediately reflect reality, but they don't tend to do that. They tend to reflect short-term monetary flows, not what's actually happening. So what we've seen short term is a move to the US dollar for liquidity. But if we zoom out, the picture's getting, messier. We've got higher energy costs across the board. We've got more debt and more uncertainty. And I think ultimately that just leads to more pressure on the system.
Certainly. And gold right now, it's lower than it has been. It's not at its all-time high, but it's starting to show some positive movement back up toward $5,000 an ounce. It's at about 47.5 right now. And all this debt that you mentioned, Philip, all this debt, I mean, the financial systems of not just America, but of the world, everybody's in debt. And when it all goes up in smoke, what are you left with?
It's a really tough climate, and you rightly point out this isn't just a U.S. problem. It is broadly a Western problem. Debt is the biggest issue the world has at the moment. Precious metals, I think, are the safe haven for climates like this. And you point out we saw a dip in pricing, and that was what I was referencing earlier when, sort of start of the year, we saw massive spikes in precious metals. We have now military conflict, and that often leads to short-term positioning in cash. And we saw that, right? People moved to US dollars, the dollar strengthened and gold prices came down. This is very, very typical. We saw the same thing in 2008. Markets started to drop. Gold drops 30% because people moved to cash, and then they position long term. What was strange about this is following the Iran war, we saw borrowing rates on treasuries actually increase, not decrease. That tells us that people aren't moving into dollars long term. It's a short-term position. So to summarize, I think this has created another buying opportunity, just like we saw in 08. And as I mentioned before, the fundamentals for gold are stronger today than they were at the start of the year.
Yeah, my advice, folks, don't get whiplash watching the markets and watching everything going on. Just relax. The takeaway for everyday Americans, have some precious metals. That's the takeaway for me. Philip Patrick, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
And if you'd like to know more, it's pretty easy. Text America to 989898. Do that today. Claim your free information kit on gold. Start diversifying your savings today. Again, it's America to 989898. You can do that today. Claim your free information kit on gold. And make sure that when you've got whiplash, you've got a little something there in the safe. You can say, you know what, I feel okay about it. Birch Gold. Got to feel okay about it, Birch Gold. I talked to Philip Patrick yesterday. Shared that with you today because things seem to be about the same. Oil creeping back up, $99 a barrel now. Ivy creeping back in as well for a little surprise visit. Ivy, I hear you've got something special for me.
Well, I wouldn't mind some more precious metals, Steve.
Well, yeah, on your fingers. I got it. Yeah,
I'm kidding, of course, but I do have a story that I want you to make a comment on. So the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago is requiring a valid photo ID or proof of residency for certain perks like discounts or free admission for Illinois residents.
Interesting.
What do you think about that, Steve?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the presidential library with Barack Obama's name to be on it. It looks like a crashed spaceship from Star Wars.
It does look like something out of Star Wars, I will agree.
Or something out of 1984. It is a disgusting.
And isn't like over budget and past due dates and et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, they've blown the budget. I mean, wouldn't that be typical? Yes. It's over. It's ugly. It's over budget. It's understaffed. They were supposed to raise something like $100 million for it, right? Private money. They've raised like $2 million.
Oh my!
Yeah, I mean it's remarkably underfunded. It's a complete disaster.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
And that they are requiring photo ID.
Yeah.
But of course, he's an advocate for you don't need an ID to vote. So
right, because if you do, you're racist.
Exactly.
If you do, you're homophobic. You're a white supremacist. Oh, just throw it all in one bucket. You're all these terrible things.
I guess his presidential library or presidential center is all of those things because they're requiring ID.
Yeah. Anyhow, so that back to the Save America Act because we're going down that road for just a moment here. I again say to John Thune. And I say to the Republicans in the U.S. Senate, get past the Democrats, get the Save America Act done.
Yeah.
Barack Obama understands well enough that you need photo ID to go to his silly, ugly library. The American people understand. I mean, we have to give ID here in Michigan, Ivy.
Yeah, I don't understand this argument. It's not that difficult to get an ID.
Everybody has one.
And if you have missing documents, actually, I did not have my birth certificate many years ago. I could not. My mom just couldn't figure out where the heck it was, and so I just had to go down to, the Capitol and submit my paperwork to get one, because they're all filed with your state.
Yeah, in fact,
and so it does take some time, but you can do it.
It's easier now. They have this thing called, you might have heard of this. It's called the internet. And you can actually get on this thing called a computer, like this one, right? You get on this computer, and you can put in your state, and you can put in some information, and you don't even actually have to go there. They'll
but if you don't have access to those things, you can still go down there.
Correct.
There are lots of options, and you have to have an ID for everything.
That's right. Here's another thing. Oh, people don't have access to the internet. Who? Who do you know that doesn't have access to the internet? I suppose it's possible, but even if you're in a place that you don't have internet in your house,
you can go to a library, exactly.
A coffee shop, whatever, that has free Wi-Fi available.
Right. Don't liberals claim that black people are too dumb to use phones and computers?
Oh, yeah. And married women. It's a
leftists,
miracle.
Not liberals, by the way.
It's a miracle that Ivy was able to get an ID after she got married.
That was actually pretty easy. You just submit your paperwork. It's a process, and you have to go through the process.
Yeah, life is a process.
That can be frustrating, but it's not that difficult.
No.
Just follow the directions and do what you need to do.
Do the work?
Do the work.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ivy.
All right. Thank you.
Back in the next hour, of course. Oil at $99. If Hormuz remains closed, there are predictions that oil stay at about $100 to $26. But still, that should bring gas prices down about 50 cents from where they are, maybe a bit more. We'll see. Quick break and be back.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the Rav Hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Lazar Garcianovich here from Japan. Love Real America's Voice, real news, honest views, and love seeing everyone there. God bless America.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.
Hi, I'm Bridgie. And why do I love Rob? Well, even out here in the cornfields of Iowa, I still need news I can depend on. That is Real America's Voice.
right, back to it now as we look at this ceasefire. Again, the ceasefire is fragile. I mean, you look at ceasefires in the Middle East or anywhere else, they're a delicate, fragile item. And so be careful what you think might happen. I am not sure. Joining me is James Fitzpatrick, attorney, Army vet, director at the Center to Advance Security in America. James, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks, Steve, for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, so the good news is we've got some sort of a ceasefire. Seems to be holding. Iran upset that Israel hammered targets in Lebanon. That's not part of the deal. That's Hezbollah. That's not part of the deal. The administration made that clear. But then Iran came out and said, we're closing the Strait of Hormuz. But I'm not really sure they did. A lot of things to figure out on any given day and every given moment here, isn't there, James?
That's right. There's a lot of posturing right now. I think it's a overall good thing that there is a ceasefire. Look, President Trump is a peace president. He wants to pursue peace wherever possible, but he's also America First president, and he's going to protect our country and our assets abroad. And look, he just announced that our military assets are going to stay in the region until two things, until the Strait of Hormuz opens and until Iran pledges that they will not have any more nuclear weapons. I think those are very reasonable demands, given that we met virtually all of our military objectives. We've decimated them. We've taken out their ability to project power in the region. So we are really negotiating here from a position of strength. So I think those two demands are reasonable, and I'm confident that the administration will get them.
You know, it's interesting. I sit here and I look at the Strait of Hormuz. Obviously, that's a big part of the deal. Goldman Sachs says if the strait stays closed for another month or so, it'll mean $100 oil for the rest of this year. I don't know if that's true. They make a lot of predictions, do the people at large. But here's what I've read is that most of the ships that came out carrying oil were Iranian flag ships. Their oil vessels are still coming out in pretty good numbers. Other countries not so fortunate. So what do you foresee here, James? Is the strait going to be open? And what capacity, honestly, does Iran have to close the Straits of Hormuz? They have no air force. They have no navy. They have limited capacity. To the best of my knowledge, James, we have not lost a single oil tanker, not one, since the 28th of February. Am I wrong?
No, you're right, Steve, and I think that's exactly it. They're going to see that they're coming at this from a position of weakness, and they're dealing with President Trump, who's making these demands and is going to be backing them up with action. And our allies in the region are going to be on board, I'm sure, to get this open because it affects everyone. So, yes, they need to open the strait immediately. If they're only allowing their tankers through, that is a big problem. And I know the president's going to find out about that, and there's going to be consequences for them. But again, they are in a total weak spot here. We've just killed all of their leadership. We've taken out their Navy. We've taken out their ability to create any sort of defense industrial base. I mean, they are essentially powerless in this fight. We need to just back it up, and I'm sure the president will, with consequences if they don't follow through and open the strait.
Exactly true. Look, we've got to be able to stabilize. If Donald Trump sees oil stay at $100 or $110, it's really going to have a negative impact on the midterm elections, despite the fact that Iran has attacked us for 47 years and killed our Marines and our sailors and been involved with Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, Al-Shabaab, and all these other terrorist organizations. Despite all that, because I think it was the right thing to take down this regime and stop this constant antagonistic, violent attacks on Western civilization, basically. But there will be a price to be paid, James, at the polling place. If this economy, if gas is $4 a gallon, unfortunately, people are a bit myopic, and they'll vote based on $4 gas and not based on what's good long term. Your thoughts?
That's true. That may be the case. I think short term that may be the case, but I think thankfully we have a president who is not concerned with the day-to-day political approval ratings. I am confident he will get his political team together and do what he has to do for the midterm elections in order to protect the House majority. But I think that is a good thing here. He's doing what's best for the American people. He's putting America first, and he's not worried about his daily approval ratings like many other past presidents were. Yeah, that would be incredibly important. Let me ask you this, James, before I let you go.
Any idea who's actually in charge in Iran? Who are we negotiating with? Who has declared a ceasefire for Iran? Is it the IRGC? Is it somebody else? I mean, we're getting bits and pieces, tea leaves, if you will, that we found a more reasonable group of people to talk to, that the regime has actually been changed. But I don't know if that's true or not. What do you make of it?
No, Steve, that's a great point. I think it's difficult because over there you have people who are afraid to step up because they know if they're going to be in a position of power and leadership there, then they immediately become a target. And there's also suspicion amongst the government officials there of anybody that's still remaining alive that they may be compromised and spying for us or our allies. So it's difficult. I don't know exactly who we're dealing with there, but I'm confident, Secretary Rubio and his team and the president and Secretary Hegseth and all the leadership is dealing with the right folks. But it's tough given all the damage we've done there.
All right, James, greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here, James Patrick. We'll keep a close eye on it. We'll keep an eye on the Strait of Hormuz. Appreciate your insights and your expertise, sir. Thank you. As we look forward, is the ceasefire going to hold? I hope so. I hope so. But there's no guarantee. Look, this is the most volatile part of the world. I don't know how old you are, right? But my entire life, we have watched, one battle, one war, a ceasefire, another battle, another war, another ceasefire. Then it'll be calm for a little bit. And then the top gets ripped off it again. And then comes on October 7th. They just fight back and forth. My dad told me a long time ago, if they took the guns away from a good group of these people, they'd beat each other to death with sticks and stones. You have to wonder if that isn't true. All that hatred. Anyhow, when we come back, for the love of sports, we won't be hateful at all. We'll be gleeful with Brock after this.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the RAV hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Lazar Garcianovich here from Japan. Love Real America's Voice, real news, honest views, and love seeing everyone there. God bless America.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.
Hi, I'm Bridgie. And why do I love Rob? Well, even out here in the cornfields of Iowa, I still need news I can depend on. That is Real America's Voice.
right, let's check in on sports now with our good friend Brock Palmbush.
With a look at sports, I'm Brock Palmbush. There were 7 games in the NBA last night. Winners included Detroit, Cleveland, Denver, and Oklahoma City. With Oklahoma City's 128-110 win at the LA Clippers, the Thunder clinched the #1 overall seed in the NBA playoffs, which start next week. They'll have home court advantage through the NBA Finals. In the NHL, there were just 3 games. Buffalo got past the New York Rangers 5-3. Washington shut out Toronto 4-0, and Edmonton beat San Jose 5-2. In Major League Baseball, a full schedule. American League winners included Baltimore, Cleveland, and Texas. National League winners included Miami, St. Louis, and Arizona. Also in Major League Baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates gave rookie shortstop Connor Griffin a 9-year contract extension worth $140 million. He was the #1 prospect in all of baseball heading into this season. Griffin is just 19 years old, and Aaron Rai won the par 3 contest at the Masters yesterday in Georgia. That's a look at sports. Back to you, Steve.
The Masters, doesn't that start today, Brock?
It started 25 minutes ago.
Is it light?
Yes, it is. They always start with the ceremonial tee shots with, at least now, it's Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, and Gary Player.
Oh.
And then the first group actually went out at 7:40, so 16 minutes ago.
I got you. The greatest golf competition or tournament in the world, right?
In my opinion, it is. Yeah, it's the best of the 4 majors, the greatest tournament in the world. So it's getting underway, and it's going to be fun and interesting as it always is.
One thing I will never have, Brock, a green jacket. Now you know.
Well, there you go.
Right
I thought you were going to say something about being fun and interesting, but I'll leave that one alone.
Well, thanks, Brock.
I'm just kidding. Come on now.
He just took his 5-iron right over the top of my head. Whop!
No, maybe a 7-iron.
Fine enough. All right, so the Masters. Again, we talk about a lot of really important things. Sometimes you got to take a break. You got to smile. You got to laugh. Say a prayer. Watch some golf. Watch some basketball. Say another prayer. Whatever it is. All right? But don't get so bogged down in the seriousness that you become a curmudgeon. All right? Don't do that. Don't. I mean, that happens to me sometimes. Every now and then, I even lose my temper. Happens. Shocking, isn't it, Anthony? He's not touching that one.
It's not shocking.
I'm not touching that one. Anyhow, I will take a break and be back. For those of you on Real America's Voice, Sunrise is next for you on MTN. It's the Steve Gruber Show continuing.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the Rav Hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Lazar Garcianovich here from Japan. Love Real America's Voice, real news, honest views, and love seeing everyone there. God bless America.
Hey, this is SEAL Team from Missouri. I like Real America's Voice because it's real news for real people, and it's real good.